Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of opportunities? Emails, new projects, endless ideas. It is absolutely overwhelming. But here's the secret. The key to getting ahead isn't about doing more, it's about deciding better. So let's dive right in. We are going to build you a personal decision operating system from the ground up to turn all that chaos into crystal clear, high-impact action.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why this is so incredibly important. Then we'll define what the system even is. And then, the fun part, we're going to install it together layer by layer, the filter, the score, and the all-important final step, execution.
All right, let's start with the real problem we're all facing. For most of us, the bottleneck isn't a lack of options, right? It's having way too many. And that leads to that awful analysis paralysis. That feeling of being constantly busy, but at the end of the day, not really feeling productive at all.
This quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. The game completely changes as you move up in your career. It stops being about who can hustle the hardest, and it becomes all about the precision of your choices. The whole goal here is to stop just reacting to everything that comes your way and start selecting with real intention.
So how in the world do we make that shift? Well, we stop obsessing over productivity in general, and we start becoming architects of our decisions. And that's where this solution comes in, your personal decision operating system, or what we'll call your DOS. Yeah, exactly. Think of it just like the operating system on your phone or your computer. It's that underlying program that quietly manages your most valuable resources, your attention, your time, and your energy to get things done. It's the structure that lets everything else run smoothly. And this system? It's built on 3 really simple core layers. First, we filter out all the noise. Second, we score the good ideas that are left. And third, we execute on the absolute best one. Ready? Let's build that first layer right now.
Okay, let's get to building. Welcome to Layer 1, the filter. Its entire job is to be your personal bouncer, your gatekeeper, protecting you from that constant flood of low-value distractions and requests. Its function is actually incredibly simple, but so powerful. It asks one basic question of every single thing that comes across your desk. Is this truly worth my focus? And you know what? Most of the time, the answer is going to be a quick, unapologetic no. This isn't about being rude or negative. It's about being ruthlessly effective.
See, what the filter really does is create the mental space, the bandwidth you need to even think about high-value work. By saying no to all the trivial stuff, you're creating the capacity to say a powerful yes to the things that actually move the needle. It is your first and maybe most important line of defense. Okay, so what happens when a few really good opportunities make it past your filter? What do you do then, especially if you have a few to choose from? Well, that brings us to Layer 2, the score. This is where we stop rejecting and start ranking. The whole function here is to stop you from making choices based on just the gut feeling or, whatever feels most urgent in the moment. Instead, you apply a consistent, logical set of criteria to evaluate each option. It takes the emotion out of it and brings in pure strategy. And these are the criteria we're going to use. First up, strategic alignment. Does this actually fit your big picture goals? Next, ROI. What's the potential return on your investment of time and energy? Third, leverage. Could this one thing produce huge outsized results? And then a really important one, energy. Does this idea excite you or does it feel like a total drag? And finally, compounding potential. Will this thing build on itself and grow over time? And look, here's where it all becomes real. When you actually score each opportunity like this, the best path just emerges from the noise. It's so clear. Notice how Project A wins here? It's not because it has the absolute highest leverage, Project B is a little better there, but because its amazing alignment and the energy it gives you makes it the most valuable choice overall. The numbers don't lie. All right, you've filtered, you've scored, and you have selected your highest impact opportunity. We're done, right? No way, because a decision without action is just a daydream. This brings us to the final, and I'd argue the most critical layer, execution. The entire point of this layer is to build a bridge between your choice and actual reality. It is the system that guarantees your brilliant, perfectly scored decision actually gets done and produces a result that you can see, touch, and measure. This layer is all about building unstoppable momentum. It's the system that forces you to ask, okay, what's the very first step? It makes you track your milestones and drives that project all the way to the finish line. This is what separates a good decision maker from someone who actually consistently delivers.
And let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. The entire system, the filter, the score, it is all designed to lead you right here. Without a deep commitment to executing with precision, the first two layers are just, well, they're a fun intellectual exercise. Action is the only thing that makes this entire system valuable.
So there you have it, your own personal decision operating system, fully installed. You've got a filter to protect your focus, a scorecard to rank your best options, and a deep commitment to execution. The only question left is, what's the first high-leverage opportunity you're going to execute on?